Hi everyone, Kelly here. Today I'm going to be doing my ghost hunting videos. This one was with Haunted Happenings and it was a 4-hour event and it was in Coventry and the place was Spon Street. Again, two of Philip's friends came, so there was 4 of us. And this place, it's only like a little, I'm sure they said it's running as hairdressers now. It's only a little tiny place. I think there were 1, 2, 3, there was like 4 rooms. A couple of rooms were pretty small and then you've got like your more bigger rooms. We all went in and, as you do, have the chat in the base room. And they tell you a bit about themselves and so forth. And then we went, the people who hadn't been on the event with Haunted Happenings before, they did a workshop, like telling you things about the Ouija boards and dowsing rods and things like that. And the people who had been on ghost hunting with them, they went in this small room and we had, first of all, we had a Ouija board, I think, yeah, Ouija board, and it wasn't, nothing was coming through. Something was coming through, but it didn't want to communicate through the Ouija board. It just kept coming off the Ouija board. So we had to go then with just your fingers on the glass on the table, and it was working brilliantly. And it was going to this one girl because she's been there before. So it kept going to her, and we found out it was a little girl, Emily, I think her name was. And then all of a sudden she went, and then it's because this other man come through. For the life of me now, I cannot remember his name. I've been on that many ghost hunts, I can't remember all the names. I can't remember his name at all, but he wasn't very nice. The person who'd been there before had asked if it was this person, I can't remember the name of, and it went to yes. And then we put a little table on top of the big table and did some table tipping. Now this was going absolutely mad. We was all hands on the table, we was all going around the table, and then it would go the other way, so you'd have to swap hands and turn the other way. Really good activity, glass moving and like table tipping. It was excellent. And then we all joined together and we went downstairs. It got like a bit of a bar place in there, and before we began we could hear a few knocks behind the bar. The host was there and she could hear them too. She goes, great. She was the only one behind there. We was all holding hands in the circle, asking for things to happen. My hand started lifting next to the bloke next to me. Our hands they wasn't really high in the air, but they was quite high in the air. They was being lifted, and then another couple of people's hands were being lifted, and then ours were raised back down, and they did go backwards, and then they come back, and that was that. And over the other side a couple of people were being pushed, and then all of a sudden Philip started coughing, and he said it feels like somebody's like got a noose round his neck. And he said, has anybody been hung? We said we don't know yet, we'll see that in the end, see if there has or not. And then all of a sudden he said he started to get really hot. It was like burning hot, and he asked if there'd been a fire, and we didn't know any of this stuff. They said they'll have to check that out at the end again. And then mine and Philip's hands started raising all the way up in the air, and it was all the way up in the air. I was on tiptoes again, and then they were going backwards. So very good activity there, and the K2 meter was spiking, and also a torch kept coming on, which was excellent. Then we had a short break, and then it was time to go into this one room with the host, and we did some table tipping, and we found out this bloke that came through. On the table tipping we found out that he was gay, and he was murdered because he was gay, which isn't very nice at all. And we heard like people coming up the stairs. We all looked and there was nobody coming up the stairs, and this also happened for the other group that went in there. We was all in different rooms, they heard people coming up the stairs as well. So it was just us, like a small group. I think there's about 6 of us, no, say 9 of us in each groups. And like I said, the table tipping, and it was answering our questions, and he was gay and he got murdered for being gay. And we said, is there anybody in here that you like? And it went to yes. So we put all the girls went on the table, and it wasn't really moving for us. Then the men went on there. I think there was only 4 men, and we asked for the table to be lifted to the person he liked, and it lifted straight up to one of Philip's friends, and the other one got quite jealous that the table didn't lift up to him. That's another story. And then we wanted the table to be lifted. So what we did was we all put our hands underneath the table, and we lifted it for ourselves to feel what it would feel like when we lifted it. I was asking for this to happen. It was walking, and then all of a sudden it would raise up in the air. The actual table raised up in the air. It was like a floating, you could feel it was like floating. Like when we was doing it, you could tell that we were lifting it, but this was like floating, and then it come back down in our hands, which was really, really cool. That's the first time anything like that has happened, so we really, really enjoyed that. And then it was time for a break. So we had a break, and then it was time for our free time. Now, on some of our free time, I have recorded some glass moving. So I will insert that in here probably at the end, so keep watching when I say bye, because you will see some video footage of the glass moving. We did glass moving up there. When we first went in there, it was that bloke again. He wasn't very nice. I had the back of my hair pulled. That was when we first went in there. Then we was asking him things, and he just kept wanting to go around in a circle really, really fast. That probably because he was trying to build up more energy. And was asking questions that you would see in the video, and it was answering yes and so forth. And then we said, can you push somebody in this room? It went to yes. So one of Philip's friends stood in the corner of the room. We said, can you push him now? And he got pushed. And then I stood there, I asked for it to be pushed, and yes, push me too. And then Philip stood there and it pushed him too, and then the other one of Phil's friends stood there and it pushed him as well. And then we put the table, a little table on top of the big table, and the table was going absolutely bonkers. It was spinning us around. We asked for the table to be taken to a person in the room, and it did. It went straight to them. We asked the table to be pushed off the table, and it did twice. And then out of nowhere, I was just stood there, and I think I come away from the table because it was time to pack up. And then I come off the table. went to pick up the torch, and then I came back to the table because they were still had their hands on the table, and well, I went to get the torch because it was time to go. So I went back up to the table, and before I got back to the table, there was like a huge, it wasn't like usually when you get touched you feel like a breeze. It's like a breeze, like, how can I pronounce it? Like when you get touched, usually when I get touched, it's like more like somebody like pressing up against you, like a kind of like a breezy kind of feeling. And I've also had like fingernails down my legs, which I didn't like. But this, it was more like a force. It was like a force. I was just stood there looking at them doing the table, and I got pushed. This force, it just pushed me, and I slammed right into the table, which amazed everybody by the way and the force I was pushed into the table, and that really, really hurt. And then what did we do then? And then we went into another room, and they had this little girl on the Ouija board, but she didn't want to go on the Ouija board, she wanted to go on the table. Somebody put their bracelet in the glass because she wanted their bracelet in the glass. So it was moving along and it was answering all the questions, and she said she didn't like this man, and then this man returned. Me and Philip, we knew he was in there because we could see by the door there was like, it went really, really black, like somebody was stood there, and we asked, are you in the room? And it went to yes. And people were asking it questions, and it wasn't very nice, and the little girl was scared of this person, so she went, and all of a sudden he's asking these questions to him, and all of a sudden I just changed. I felt really, really angry. I just wanted to shout out, why don't you F off? Which is unlike me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm pretty quiet and shy, but I got really, really angry. I just wanted to tell them to all F off, and I was like shaking. I was like really, really angry, and I had to come off it, and the girl, the host, said just go down there, and I went in the corner, and all of a sudden they was asking, this one girl said something like, I'm not scared of you, are you scared of me? I think you're scared of me. Then all of a sudden out of nowhere I just shouted out, no. And Philip said that's what my face did as well. And I just like had this like an itch on the side of my face, like it was, and it just kept getting worse and getting worse. And at the end, Philip and the girl had to take me out of the room because I was getting really, really angry. And as soon as I got out of the room, everything stopped, but I was just shaking. I was shaking like crazy. The itching and like in my face, that had all gone. As soon as I left the room, I was just ended up shaking. So that was that in that room, and then we did a big seance at the end with everybody. So we all got back together, did a big seance where I was pushed and I had my hair pulled, and we was doing table tipping. We went into that room, and our arms, I think there was about 6 people that their arms didn't lift. There was another girl that didn't feel very well when she was in the circle, so she had to be sent out. There was mine and this woman's arms being lifted, and then they went back also, and then Philip's arms were being lifted, and Philip's arms were lifted, and then at one point they were around my neck, because he was like all over the place with his arms, and the K2 was spiking also. And yeah, it was a fantastic night. Really, really enjoyed that night. Like I said, it's only Very, very small place. But it seems to be the more small places you go to than the bigger ones. The smaller ones always seem more active, but they have done for us anyway. So like Warwick Castle and so forth, they are absolutely massive, but you cannot beat the smaller locations. I think they are excellent, and they have got loads and loads of activity going on. So that was at Spon Street, and that was with Haunted Happenings, and I really did enjoy that. I think, I'm not sure, I think that was £25 or £35 each, which was excellent. I really loved that. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I think now I would be doing my other ghost hunt, and then I will be up to date with all my ghost hunts. So I'll see you again in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.
Can I put the torch on there then?
Can you please move the glass to yes if you're with us? Can you go back to the middle, please, Spirit?
Can you move the glass to where you are in this room?
Are you with me? Are you stood by me, Spirit? Can you go back to the middle, please?
Did you hear that?
No?
I heard somebody's name.
You heard somebody's name?
Is your name Edward? Is Edward in this room with us? Can you remember us, Edward?
Is it?
Spirit, if that's you, it just said a name. Could you say it so everybody else can hear, please?
I heard that, yeah. Did you hear that name? What name did you hear?
Can you say it again, please, Spirit?
Yeah. Did you hear it?
No. Can you say it louder, please, Spirit?
That was your fucking...
Sam.
What did you ask?
Sam.
Yeah, I heard Sam.
Did you say Sam? Can you go back to the middle, please?
Do you like Sam?
Are you related to Sam?
Is this Graham? Let's get him. Is this Graham?
Can you do something in this room for us? Can you spin the glass round the table? I'm going to say stop in a minute. When I say stop, can you stop? Can you go faster for me? Can you go really fast round the table?
And faster, please.
Faster.
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 Come on, Spirit.
Come on, faster, Spirit. Stop. Oh.
Is it boring on your own here? Are you the man that likes little girls? Did you die here?